Hello everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode of my Pokemon Platinum Let's Play. I am Magnificent Entertainer, Bulbagarden's multimedia executive. In the last episode, we had a very anticlimactic battle against Azelf, caught it in less than 5 minutes in a heal ball. Then we went to Snow Point City, had an anticlimactic trade where we traded away that Medicham and were hoping to get a Gengar and did not. So I guess the theme of last episode is major disappointments. Anyway, we are now here in the Acuity Cavern with Uxie right here. Let's see how this goes. Kyoun. Alright, Uxie here is also level 50. It has the moves Swift, Yawn, Future Sight, and Amnesia, and the ability Levitate. It is the more defensive counterpart to Azelf's offensive nature, so instead of having Uproar and Nasty Plot, it's got Amnesia and Yawn. Well, Yawn and Amnesia. Yawn is kind of annoying, but not terrible. Swift is not going to hurt on this at all. Future Sight's not going to hurt on this at all. So really, I don't think this is going to be a massive issue. Strategy here is the same as what I had for Azelf, which is Stun Spore, weaken it down, and then just try to throw some oddballs at it. That Amnesia will make it easier. Let's actually try a Shadow Ball. Amnesia, if it gets one up, will make it more difficult to hurt with the special attacks. So I think that's not a terrible thing going forward. And yeah, you saw Swift did, like, nothing. Yawn is going to be kind of annoying, but I do have some berries. I still haven't started growing berries again, so, my berry collection is stagnant, but I do still have 55 Chesto berries before I even have to start touching the Lum berries, so I'm not particularly worried. And you're yawning again, that's fine, I don't care. I did about a little less than half with that first Shadow Ball. Let me Giga Drain. I think that's going to do less even with same type attack bonus. Yes, good. And there's Future Sight. And I'm sleeping again. Well, Masquerose is sleeping again, which is fine. Okay, let's start chucking the Pokeballs at it. Starting with an actual Pokeball. And hope that it doesn't catch as fast as its counterpart did. Because that was just... oof. I was expecting an actual battle, and I did not get one. Let's try a Premier Ball. I haven't tried one of these in a while. Didn't even get a chance to try one with Don't you dare! Don't you dare! Thank you. I love how I'm actively rooting for it to not catch. I mean, that's just... I never thought I'd see the day. You know what? You got an Amnesia. We'll try a Great Ball. I think that's going to be okay. I might consider... I mean, if Masquerose wasn't asleep. Don't you dare. I might consider waking up Masquerose if it gets in another Amnesia, just so that I could do a little bit more damage. But yeah, let's see. Throw the odd Pokeballs. I mean, the Ultra Ball's not terrible, and the Ultra Ball actually did worse than the Premier Ball did. But okay. Yeah, I don't think I tried the Net Ball yet, so let's try the Net Ball. Here we go. Nothing doing. Alright, do I want to try the Heal Ball? Has it been more than 5 minutes yet? It hasn't quite been 5 minutes yet. Alright, let's try one more Pokeball. Again, I'm not worried about PP on this one because it's got higher PP moves than Giratina, so I can mess around a little bit more and have some fun. Okay, you did get that Amnesia up. Let me try another Giga Drain, which, of course, I'm fast asleep. Oh well. There we go. No need to use an item. So that's +4 special defense. This shouldn't KO. Yeah, that barely did a thing. I could even get in one more Giga Drain before you put me to sleep. Boy, you like putting me to sleep, like, as soon as I wake up. That's not very nice. Anyway, I guess while we're battling Uxie, I can start going over my thoughts about the Lake Trio, because I didn't have time to do that while battling Azelf. You know, they're okay. As far as legendary Pokemon go, you know, I guess they're fine. I mean, you know, the concept for them isn't Don't you dare! No! Okay. Well, it would have been slightly longer than Azelf. But yeah, I mean, I guess they're kind of okay, but I think it was starting in Generation 4 where I started to really get the idea that, hey, I feel like they're kind of coming up with too many legendary Pokemon. Now, again, the Creation Trio, you know, with the Pokemon of Time and Space and, what's it called? And Antimatter. I like that. That's a good regional trio for this particular game. But then the Lake Trio seems a little bit excessive. Then there are other legendary Pokemon, and in my personal opinion, it's kind of around Gen 4 where they just started getting a little bit excessive with legendaries. And I know, you know, there were some excessive legendaries. I mean, the legendary golems from Gen 3 were not completely necessary, although, to be completely honest, let's actually try the heal ball. To be completely honest, I don't even think I was aware that the legendary golems existed until I actually looked up some information in a guidebook, and I saw that there was this secret thing that I didn't know about that was in the game, and I was like, oh, hey, that's interesting. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have any strong feelings towards any of them. I've never actually used any of them in battle. I mean, I think Azelf would probably fit my personal style better, because I'm usually about strong offense and being fast and things like that. But, you know, that's just my personal style. It's not, you know, I don't think it's, what am I saying? I don't think it's everyone's. Like, some people might like the more tanky psychic that is Uxie, and, you know, really, as far as trios go, I always feel like the one that's kind of more balanced of the three, with more equivalent stats, that kind of sort of ends up not working out quite as well. Like, I'm sure Azelf has its strategies, and it gets Nasty Plot. Uxie has its strategies, and it gets Amnesia to complement its defenses. So, you know, at the end of the day, I think both of them have their uses. I'm not sure. I think, well, I'd need to look up Mesprit's, what's it called? I'd need to look up Mesprit's moves, but I don't think it has. In fact, I'm pretty sure that it doesn't have either Nasty Plot or Amnesia. I believe it gets Charm as its stat move right now, and Charm doesn't even increase its own stats, it decreases the opponent's stats. So, you know, again, the Pokemon that's really good at offense gets a good move. The Pokemon that's really good at defense gets a move that complements its particular style. And Mesprit kind of just gets left out in the cold, which, it's unfortunate, but, and like I said, I don't have any particular You know, I don't have any particular like or dislike for any of these three legendaries. They're just kind of here. There's something that I need to catch. I mean, if I had to give my least favorite, it's probably going to be Mesprit, because Mesprit's the roaming legendary of the game. So, you know, battles like this I like. You know, battles like this you can... Are you serious? Okay. Battles like this you can save in front of them. You can battle them. They don't run away. There's some strategy to them, but you know, there's no oh, I have to have a Pokemon that's got mean look. There's no I hope that I'm faster than it. There's no okay, I need to run around in grass with a Pokemon that's less than level 50 in this case, but higher than the level of the wild Pokemon in the area, just so that I can activate a Repel and it works fine. So, yeah, I mean, I'm really not a massive fan of the of roaming legendaries, and I'm sure whenever I do that episode with the 5 roaming legendaries, I'm sure that will be made fairly obvious as I express my frustration to whatever poor staff members I manage to coerce into joining me. Anyway, I've goofed around with enough odd Pokeballs. Let me try the actual Dusk Ball, and that does nothing. Which is good. I'm actually getting a challenge here. It's been it's been more than 10 minutes, so it's already been double the length of time that I had with Azelf, which is good. I mean, it's still not a long enough episode as yet, but I'm a lot more comfortable kind of leaving Uxie as is, because, you know, it's not going to knock itself out with struggle anytime soon. It's probably not going to sweep my team like Giratina could if it gets the all stats up, or like Azelf could if it gets the nasty plot and things go really far south. So, you know, this is one where I'm fairly comfortable kind of just goofing around and throwing the odd Pokeballs and, you know, just seeing what happens. I don't know. Am I gonna... Okay, not gonna catch it in a fishing net. But yeah, I mean, this is a lot less stressful, and there's a lot less that can possibly go wrong in this particular battle than either of the other 2 legendary battles that we've had so far. Those seem to kind of like them Premier Balls. But, anyway. Let me try an Ultra Ball, and then I may go back to throwing Dusk Balls. But the question is, do I want this to end quickly? And the answer is, you know what, let's keep it reasonable. But, yeah, oh, I don't think I remember that it had a Future Sight attack up. Let me heal. I know that I could let it faint and then send out Grim, but Grim in this case is only immune to Swift. Uxie's Swift really doesn't do much of anything anyway, and I know that I'm not as worried about PP consumption with the Lake Trio as I was with Giratina. There's still no need to let Masquerose faint, unless for some reason it gets a critical or something weird happens. Is something weird good? No, something weird is not going to be it catching in the Ultra Ball. But here we go. And I guess it getting caught in the Ultra Ball is not as weird as Azelf in the Heal Ball. Let me try the Heal Ball. It's probably not going to work. That shot with Azelf was... Yeah. That shot with Azelf was like 1 in a... Well, okay, not 1 in a billion, but... Yeah, there are odds somewhere that I could have found for that. Don't need to go there. Try another Premier Ball. See what that does. I don't know, Premier Balls, you get them as an added gift. It's always interesting to catch stuff in Premier Balls, but whatever, they're a reskinned Pokeball. Then again, so are a lot of things. Let's try another Great Ball. I think it's been a little while. But yeah, so yeah, I mean, you know, I'd have to say, the Lake Trio probably are, and I know I'm probably not going to make myself popular when I say this, but I'm gonna say that I think the Lake Trio are my least favorite legendaries in this game. You know, I like I said, I already like the Creation Trio, um, and you know, I like the idea of some of the like the well, okay, there are some other weird legendaries. There's Shaman, there's Manaphy. Okay, Fiona, whatever the heck it's called. That one's also a little bit of a weird one, but I mean, and how you get it is kind of even weirder. But that's beside the point. We'll get there if we ever have to get there. I'm not looking forward to getting there, but. I mean, I'm not as big of a fan of the small, cutesy legendaries. I mean, back in Gen 1, I'd always prefer Mewtwo over Mew anyway. And anyone who has seen me on the forums or was familiar with the Fun and Games section and the up versus down games will know that the 2 times that it was Mewtwo versus Mew, I always sided with Mewtwo. I'm just not as big of a fan of the cutesy legendaries as I am of the other legendaries. Through no fault of them. I mean, Mew is a good legendary. I know that the Lake Trio certainly have a lot of fans. And I'm not going to knock anyone else's Pokemon choices. You know, that's certainly a personal decision. That's certainly a personal thing. I mean, my favorite Pokemon is a robotic well, I was going to say a 4-legged robotic spider, but spiders technically have 8 legs. You know what I mean. I certainly understand that particular aesthetic doesn't appeal to everyone. And there's the Future Sight attack. I'll probably heal up again here. Yeah, I mean, I've got plenty of Moo Moo Milks, so that's fine by me. But yeah, I mean, and you know, some of the Pokemon that I'm using here, right? Like Spiritomb is certainly a more niche Pokemon. Porygon Z is certainly a very niche Pokemon. So, you know, it's all very subjective. It's all, you know, personal opinions, personal interests, personal likes. You know, it's not quite as much about the design from... I mean, Metagross's design is cool. But what I like most about Metagross is the concept of Metagross, which is basically, you know, it's a killer death robot mixed with a supercomputer. The fact that it's also shaped like a, you know, like a robotic spider, that's just an added bonus to me. You know, I happen to like how Metagross looks, but did I just... Aww. Okay, I did not catch it in a Pokeball yet. Anyway, what was I saying? So yeah, I mean, it's you know, there's certainly an aspect of Metagross's design that I like, but you know, the concept of Metagross is what propels it to the #1 status of my, you know, to my #1 favorite Pokemon status. And I love how I'm just going off on a tangent about Metagross when I'm fighting Uxie. I mean, I don't really have a lot to say about the Lake Trio in general. I mean, I feel like they served slightly more of a purpose in Diamond and Pearl, because without, you know, they specifically had to make a point in this particular game that the Lake Trio could counter either Dialga or Palkia, because that's exactly what happened in Diamond and Pearl. You know, in Diamond they came in and they stopped Dialga, in Pearl they came in and stopped Palkia, but because in this game Cyrus actually decided to do the smart thing and try to catch both Pokemon, they couldn't counterbalance both of them, and I thought that was very clever. Let's actually try a Timer Ball. Why not? But yeah, so, you know, at least as far as actual story progression, is this going to catch? Hey, caught it in a timer ball, which actually makes a certain degree of sense. And we're at the 20-minute mark, so this won't be an incredibly short episode. Anyway, we caught Uxie. It is the knowledge Pokemon, because you can see it's got that big brain over there. When Uxie flew, people gained the ability to solve problems. It was the birth of knowledge. Alright. Not too bad. Took about 20 minutes. No, I will not give a nickname to the captured Uxie. But yeah, I mean, that's not bad. We will actually be doing one or two more things in this episode, not the least of which is actually going to be going back and taking a look at that Uxie. I think I've got a repel up. I hope I've got a repel up. I don't remember. But yeah, we're going to head back to Snow Point City, and we're going to take a look at that Uxie. And then I think I mentioned in the last episode that if capturing Uxie didn't take too long, we were going to go and release Mesprit from its cavern. Not because I'm going to go after it immediately, but because, well, I've got the time and I don't want this to be another 20-minute episode. So, back in Snow Point City, let's actually go and... Oh, I did have a repel up. Lovely. But it's not up anymore. Oh well. Let me heal up. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the timer ball probably made about as much sense as the Dusk Ball. I didn't actually keep track of how many turns had passed, but I was goofing around with a lot of the odd Pokeballs and things like that. So it was probably better than the Ultra Ball at that point, but I'm sure someone can go in and count if they want to. Anyway, here is Uxie. It's got a calm nature. Bitter food, if I'm recalling correctly, increases special defense, so that may not be a terrible nature for it. Defenses look pretty good. You can see the offenses are lower, especially compared to Azelf. Although Azelf's special attack and Uxie's... Okay, I'm thinking my Azelf just has horrible IVs. But that's, whatever. I mean, that's my Uxie that I caught. Gonna put Tropius back in the party. Put Dr. Doof back over there. And we're gonna go out. And let's go home, shall we? Fly about as far south as we can go, all the way to Twinleaf Town. And you know what? I haven't spoken to my mother in a while. I know it's kind of a waste since I just healed up at the Pokemon Center, but... Welcome home, Engie. Are you and your Pokemon healthy? It's still early in the morning. Take a quick rest here. Actually, it's in the early evening, but I keep forgetting that my DS clock is different than the actual time. Anyway, pop on over to Route 201. I feel like it's been forever since we've been here. Verity Lakefront. Yes, Lake Verity ahead, blah, 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 the being of emotion. In a glass case of emotion. I believe I see where the cavern is over there. Let me try to surf without activating a repel. Probably a stupid idea. Alright, Verity Cavern is over here. Now, I will point out, if you are someone who is looking to reset for shinies, if you are someone who cares about IVs, if you are someone who cares about nature, this is where you would want to reset so that you can find a shiny, or so that you can find one with the correct nature or IVs. But what I'm going to do is I don't care about any of that. I'm just going to poke. And that's how you see it for your Pokedex. So that is why I wanted to at least release Mesprit before challenging the Elite Four, so that by the time I become the champion, I should have seen at least one of every single Pokemon in the Sinnoh Dex. Kyown. And it teleports away. Mesprit. It didn't fly, it teleported. Which is odd, because I don't think it learned teleport. Oh, hello, Professor Rowan. How did you get here? Magic. Dot 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 dot. NG, that was Mesprit, wasn't it? You've accomplished what I'd asked you to do at the Canalave Library. I asked you to get data on the Pokemon of the lake, and you did. But you didn't provide any answers about the mysteries of evolution. I still don't know why some Pokemon evolve and others don't. Ultimately, it only deepened the mystery. Yeah, by the way, I will point out, Professor Rowan, that I did, by myself, I did what you set 3 people out to do. Dawn didn't do a thing. Zexy sure as heck didn't do a thing. I did it all by myself. You didn't need either of them. But having mysteries to solve, that adds to my enjoyment. NG, why don't you chase after Mesprit? To me, it seemed as if it wanted to play with you. If you were to use the PokeChap marking map, you'd be able to track the movements of Pokemon. Go on, NG. I'm sure you will keep meeting countless Pokemon and people. Those encounters will keep thrilling you in their own special ways. I hope you'll enjoy that experience. Take care, NG. And I will not be chasing after Mesprit, but I will show what Professor Rowan was talking about. I believe I mentioned when we first got the Marking Map app that there is part of it that we were not able to see at that time. This is the Marking Map. If we actually, well, okay, you can see it right now. There's a little flashing icon over there that indicates where Mesprit is. As soon as I leave an area, Mesprit changes location. So if I head back here... Oh, I think it doesn't actually count Verity Cavern and Lake Verity as different places. But, you know, as you move along, as you go to different places, you'll see that icon change, and if you happen to be on the same route as Mesprit, you have a chance of encountering it in the wild. So you can see now I'm in the Verity Lakefront. Should change when I go to Route 201. Yeah, see, it changed locations when I went to Route 201. If I go back to Verity Lakefront, change locations again, back to Route 201. It changes locations again. So that's how, if you wanted to, you could go out and start searching for Mesprit right now. I don't feel like it, so I'm going home. And I think this is going to be where I end off this episode. We caught Uxie in a battle that was about 4 times as long as the battle with Azelf, which was not all that long. I mean, I think that this episode's going to be relatively decent length. We released Mesprit from its cavern. It is roaming about the Sinnoh region now. Maybe we'll bump into it as we're traveling. I'm not going to actively be looking for it, but, I mean, you never know. You know, I'll deal with Mesprit, I'll deal with the other legendary roaming Pokemon when I have a chance to get all 5 at the same time, and I think that's the best way to do it. In the meantime, though, I think I'll start next episode in Pastoria City, so don't be surprised if you see me in a different location next week. Alright, everyone, I will see you all next time.